I froze when I read the text message on my phone. "You're not invited." That was it. 7 cold words. No explanation. No hesitation. Just a dagger straight through the chest. I blinked at the screen, my heart hammering. This was my sister. The same girl I grew up with, the one whose scraped knees I bandaged, whose tears I dried, whose dreams I had carried on my shoulders for years. And now, just days before her wedding, she cut me out of her life with a single, cruel sentence. What stung the most? I had just wired over $100,000 to fund this so-called dream wedding. The venue, the catering, the music, the flowers, even her designer dress. Every detail was paid for by me. I thought I was giving her happiness. But apparently, money buys nothing when the heart is rotten. I didn't reply. I didn't beg. I didn't even call. Instead, I stared at that glowing screen and slowly I smiled. When we were kids, things were different. Our parents were always busy, working long shifts, leaving us to fend for ourselves. She clung to me like a shadow back then. I'd give her my snacks when she was hungry, my sweaters when she was cold. I even shared my allowance when she wanted candy or silly toys. She used to say, "You're the best sister ever." But love, I've learned, can be twisted. Somewhere along the way, she stopped seeing me as family and started seeing me as a safety net. My kindness turned into her entitlement. It began with little digs. "God, you're so uptight. Don't you get tired of working all the time? She's successful, but she's alone." I brushed them off, telling myself that's just family teasing. But deep down, the truth was clear. She had grown spoiled by my sacrifices. She thought I was hers to use. When her fiancé proposed, she called me. Not to share the joy, not to squeal like sisters usually do, but to ask for money. "It'll be the wedding of the decade," she said. "And you'll be part of it forever." I said yes like a fool. I thought I was buying belonging. But the text proved otherwise. To her, I wasn't a sister. I was a wallet. So I made a choice. If I was just a wallet, then I was about to close shut. The next morning I called the venue. "My name is on the contract," I said. "Paid in full. I'd like to cancel." The silence on the other end stretched. Then came the shuffle of papers, the cautious voice. "The entire event." "Yes," I said calmly. One by one I called them all, the florist, the band, the photographer, the caterer. Each time I used the same steady voice. Each time I signed the release forms. Was money lost? Perhaps. But the power I felt, the power of taking back control after years of being used, was intoxicating. The day of the wedding arrived. 6 p.m. sharp. The grand venue stood dark, silent, locked. No flowers, no music, no glowing lights. Just a cold building with gates firmly shut. I parked across the street, hidden beneath the branches of an old oak tree. My hands didn't shake. My chest was calm. For the first time in years I felt untouchable. At 5:50, the first guests arrived. Women in glittering gowns, men in crisp tuxedos. They laughed at first, expecting music, champagne, celebration. But confusion quickly spread. They tugged at the locked gates. They whispered. They checked their watches. By 6:15, her limousine pulled up. My sister stepped out, radiant in the dress I had paid for. Her fiancé beside her, stiff with nerves. She looked at the darkened building. The smile on her face faltered. She rushed to the doors, yanking at the handles. Nothing. She banged her fists against the wood. "Open up. We have a wedding in here." Her voice cracked, trembling with rising panic. The guests murmured louder. Phones came out. Videos. Pictures. 100 little eyes capturing her downfall. At 6:30 she was sobbing. At 6:40, her fiancé's face was red with humiliation. By 6:45, the night that was supposed to be perfect had collapsed into public shame. And then, of course, my mother arrived late. She stepped out of her car, looked around at the chaos, and spotted me leaning casually against my own car across the street. Her eyes narrowed. "Why is everything locked?" she demanded. I tilted my head toward my sister, who was now mascara-streaked and screaming at the empty building. Ask her, I said simply. My sister spun on her heels, her face wild with fury. You cancelled it, didn't you? You evil, selfish. Her words dissolved into sobs. My mother's lips parted, stunned. Wait, who even owns this place? That was my cue. I smiled, slow and cold. I do. Silence. Heavier than any scream. My sister's face drained of all color. My mother's jaw dropped. And her fiancé. He just looked at me like he had finally realized he married into the wrong family. I didn't explain. I didn't justify. I didn't apologize. I simply turned, walked to my car, and drove away, leaving them in the wreckage of the dream they built on my generosity and destroyed with their greed. That night, I sat by my window, sipping wine, watching the city lights flicker. Did revenge heal me? No. Betrayal still hurts. But what it gave me was clarity. I finally understood. I was never family to them. I was convenience. And convenience, when it stops giving, is disposable. So I disposed of them first. I didn't lose a sister that night. I lost a parasite. And parasites only live until the host decides they're done.